of you all for being here, and thank you for your service to your country. And this really applies to the whole room, but thanks also to your service for fellow veterans. As you know, the most important thing is being up here, talking to us, telling us how important these issues are. We have done a number of things in the last 10 or 15 years. VA health, VA in general has improved dramatically. Benefits have improved significantly in the sense, I understand these are earned benefits, but again, it simply wouldn't have gotten done without your all's efforts in pushing things forward. So thank you very much for that. I also want to thank the auxiliaries. I was telling a group the other day, the auxiliaries do such a tremendous job, and I've got a wife and 3 daughters. I was at an event, and I told the group there that the auxiliary, and I knew this group very well, was the backbone of the group. And I know the auxiliaries are the backbone of the people that you all represent. And as I was driving home, my wife said, John, they're not only the backbone, they're the brains. So there's a lot of truth to that also. But we do appreciate you very, very much.
And I see the women agree with you on this issue.
Well, the guys do too. They won't admit it, but they do also. Let me talk just for a second about the bill that failed the other day. And that bill had a lot of good stuff in it. In fact, I had several bills in there that the chairman was kind enough, to incorporate it into his big bill. And much of that stuff passed with unanimous consent, on both sides. My concern, well, first of all, let me go further, is I think there is a genuine effort on both sides. Senator Burr, the chairman, ranking member Michaud, Congressman Miller, the people that have to get behind things to get things done. I think there is a genuine, and I think you all know this too, a genuine effort to actually get a, kind of an omnibus veterans bill passed that we simply need to do. It's been a while since we've been able to do that. So, we're working hard to do that. My concern with the bigger bill was I really have concerns about all of a sudden expanding benefits in the sense of health care and things like that. Right now, we're in a situation where we're going to have a drawdown. I hope the military doesn't draw down as much as the administration would like for it to. We're going to have a bunch of people that are going to be separated that all of a sudden are going to be in the VA system. We've worked so hard to get wait times down to normal times, and they're still not there yet. There's a lot of mention about the benefits aspect of this. We're struggling to keep up with that. We're actually losing the battle somewhat. But with your pressure and our pressure, we are addressing that. So let's look at this. Let's do it in a logical way. Let's have some hearings and this and that, and then let's have a lot of input as to the actual, what's going to happen in regard to that before we move forward. So I've got problems in that regard. We don't know what it's going to cost, and cost is a major factor. There is a finite amount of money. And so what we don't want to do is take a system that is designed in a certain way and water it down so much that the benefits aren't, you really crowd out folks that were intended to be in it. Let me just ask a couple of questions real quick. Many of your organizations have firsthand experience in assessing service members in their transition from active duty to civilian life, including those who have gone through the updated TAP program. And this is important because, as I said, we're going to have a drawdown. I think that's in the cards. Again, hopefully not near as much as has been proposed, but there is going to be a further drawdown. Based on those experiences, what obstacles generally do you believe exist in ensuring a seamless transition? Are there gaps the committee should know about in the TAP program? Mr. Rowan.
First thing they can do is trash the seamless transition. What a horrible thing. It means nothing. It's not getting anywhere. You mentioned the need for money. You mentioned the need for getting a better transition from the military into the VA. And right now, we got the DOD planning to spend $28 billion for a computer system nobody needs. They can go across the street to their friends in the VA, and instead of feeding all of their contractors that are in the DOD, get Vista from the VA, upgrade it a little bit, because it does need a little bit of that, we know that, and take it. Why does everybody have to have their own damn computer system? And this is not alone. I used to work for the controller of the city of New York, and I watched the same thing happen at city agencies. I watched the New York Police Department flush $100 million down the drain on a stupid system they never used. There's your answer. $28 billion, wipe it out, get rid of that system, take Vista, add maybe 5, 10 million, or upgrade it, whatever it takes. To upgrade it, take it over, then there's no seamless anything. It's the same system, and they simply walk their records from one side of the street to the other.
Right.
And we're done. And that's one of the biggest problems.
Very good. Yes, sir.
Sir, with respect to the National Guard and Reserve components, the TAP program is really inapplicable. We cannot take advantage of the long-term extended training programs that provide active duty soldiers because our orders don't extend that long. What we've been encouraging over the years is to have more of these types of exercises and reintegration programs done at home, not just with Yellow Ribbon, which is a fabulous program, but if we can capture our folks while they're still on active duty orders before they disperse, not just for employment purposes, and there's a perception that our members are employed before they're deployed, and that's largely true, but for psychological PTSD purposes, it's very, very important they meet with the local providers and they can put a face to the organization within their state who will be taking care of them. For a member to go through demobilization in Washington State when the member lives in Maryland, it's just not effective. I think we're making strides along those lines, but we need to have more things done at the state level for our Guard members leaving active duty.
Good. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I think from a state perspective's point of view, the TAP Transition Assistance Program needs to be expanded, not just a national program, but it needs to be expanded into the states, whereas the states will be able to access and get that information and share it. There's a problem with sharing of information at DOD, VA, and then the states because of security and personal reasons. But if we get that information and we can have the TAP information shared with all of the 50 states, that will enable us at that state level to assist in the transition, the job employments, and also have that information accessible to the veterans so that they can navigate it, know where to go into and how to tap and get into all the stuff that they need from education, from training to medical assistance, et cetera. And I think that from the top down to the lower grassroots ground level, that might help this transition process.
Good. Very good. Thank you.
There was a piece in the news, Mr. Chairman, Senator Boozman, this morning that indicated a number of service members had gotten pink slips while deployed in Afghanistan, and they're going to be tossed out in the next couple of months. So here they are in harm's way, dealing with all kinds of stress and worrying about that they're not going to have a military career when they get back. So one of the things that we're strongly urging the Congress to consider, especially with respect to the Defense Department, is to use voluntary separation incentives for these folks, because the speed of the drawdown means that they're going to toss people out with no separation pays, with no early retirement. They're just going to toss them over the side. They should be using 15-year early retirements, separation pays, and other ways to give people a bridge into civilian life.
Can I interrupt real
Yes,
quick?
Senator,
Because
sure.
I think that's such an important thing, and you know, it's not being talked about yet. But, you know, we're talking about people that have done 10, 12 years. When you look back, you know, some of these people have done 8, 9, 10 deployments. I mean, it's amazing. You know, we simply haven't had this kind of effort in a long, long time. And so the idea, as you point out, that you know, this is on the table, and especially I hadn't heard about the, you know, getting pink slips now. But again, this is something that we all need to work on very, very hard.